Hello, kindred spirits. Linda Smith Davis here with New England Fine Living, and welcome to my YouTube channel. If this is your first visit, thank you for stopping by. If this is a second, thank you for coming back. I thought today I would share a fun little project that I'm working on here in my kitchen. Now, let me first explain. I did this specifically for this YouTube channel presentation, but I do also do this on a smaller scale for clients and myself. But I thought it would just be fun to show you how you can select something in your home that you really like the color of, or the texture, the style, and pull together a room. So without further ado, let me show you what I mean. I have pulled together some things here in my kitchen that I like. And then I had some wallpaper samples and fabric samples in my studio. And keep in mind, they don't all blend together. They're not all perfect, and they're not going to be everybody's style. I get that. This is more so to show you how I do pull together colors in a way that's I can't say different, but this is how I like to do it. So let's start here at the end of this counter. This is a piece that I love. I shared this in my consignment find. White, green, very crisp. So I did have this white and green wallpaper that has a very thin stripe, just like on the teapot there. And then you could find a coordinating fabric that has a whiter background with that nice Kelly green. This here, I always liked this paperweight. And this fabric actually has a bird in it. The color is perfect, and it does coordinate with this wallpaper. And if you look at here, there's not really green in the paperweight, but when the way the light reflects it, it takes on the hue of the paper. So I did like that. Right here, little egg. I've had this small little wooden egg in a bird's nest that fell from a tree years ago, and it's been in there. I just pulled it out. I had this wallpaper in hand, and I had this fabric, and this is showing me that if I added a little dark brown or even black to this color theme, it would look great. Okay, moving on down. This is another wallpaper I just selected for one of my rooms, possibly. It has a teal and a taupey brown, but what I grabbed was this dish that I like to use for our citrus fruits, and it has also a fabric that complements it beautifully. And then down here also is another fabric that has the greens and the browns. It also has some blues in there and some other colors, so that would work well in another room. All right, here. I know everybody's not a bird lover when it comes to wallpapers and fabrics, but I do love it. This is one that I'm highly considering for one of my rooms. And I like how it worked together with these check fabrics. Let me see if I can get my camera to do that. And this fabric here has a little touch of a heather gray. I don't know if you could see that. And there's also a very light blue. So that's a color that I could bring into this colorway. I just don't happen to have them here in the home right now, but that could be trims, it could be pillows. Here's another that's, hopefully this looks a little the same. I had to take this off, the camera off the stand, because it kept hitting the counter here. So here's another very similar colorway to the birds. This would work well maybe in an adjoining hallway, an adjoining room. This is actually string from my childhood home. It came from a mill in Middleton, Mass. that has traveled. It used to be huge. It's getting smaller and smaller. But I also like the pine cone here has a similar color with the darker browns. It works beautifully with this fabric. This particular one, I have it between two different presentations. The reason is this fabric complements the one on the left. It also complements the one on the right. So once again, this could be in an adjoining room without any problems. It could even be in the same room. I would just make sure that I had two different pattern sizes so they weren't fighting. But I like how it had this Wedgwood blue, and I had this little chicken, let's see here, my chicken creamer that I picked up the other day. I'm not sure if he's a keeper. I might put him on one of my flash sales, but this fabric complements both rooms. And one thing that inspired this grouping is I love my dark blue New England book, and it has the creamy pages, just like the creamy background here of the wallpaper. Here is another Wedgwood blue. I don't have anything right now that pulls together with it, but it does work well with this larger buffalo check if I wanted to. The background's a little bit whiter and crisper, so I would probably find a buffalo check that had a similar background. This here, very simple, a diamond shape with a deep dove gray stripe, and in this fabric, you can actually see the very similar dark gray. I think this would be beautiful right on top of each other if this was the wallpaper and then some drapery panels, pillows, whatnot. All right, honestly guys, this is kind of what started it all this morning. I was pressing some orange juice for Ben and I was using a blood orange. I grabbed it by accident because I'm making a passion fruit cocktail that I created years ago. But when I pressed it, it's such a beautiful color. I realized that I had a wallpaper that I ordered as a sample for one of the rooms, and it has the same blood orange color. It's more like a coral. And I have a lot of fabrics that I had in my office that complement it. Now, a lot of these would not work together because the scale is the same size or they really fight with each other. I'm just showing that something can inspire a colorway. You know, the side of the orange, this was just on its way out, but it does work well with that fabric. Once again, it's just for inspiration. Moving over here. The tulips here were my inspiration to pull together these two pieces, a wallpaper that I had and a fabric. And then I would pull in some other trims and other smaller patterns to work with that. So once again, some of these just have two because it's only what I had in the house. Here's a fun pattern also with the blues and greens, whites, and there's a darker background. But the intensity of the blue really works well with this fabric. And I didn't grab anything to show what that inspiration was because actually this was the inspiration and then I grabbed a fabric I had. So far I've had two flowers, and this is lavender from my garden that I've dried, and I do keep it for making bath salts and recipes. But what I like is the color. It has a little bit of a dusty pink in the bottom. It has some natural color. And this dress, I loved it. I cut out the photo. I would never see it on me, of course, but I just liked the brown hair and the pink. And this is a wrapping paper that I've used. It's a foil that I just like how that looked. So I found a fabric, and then another, that brought the colors together of this dried lavender with its pink and somewhat taupey undertones. Next to that, I have another fabric here that has some bright colors. If this was a drapery panel, you'd just see pops of color, but it works very well with this apple green buffalo check. And I just grabbed these that were on my hutch here in the kitchen just to show the color works well together. Right, my bee wallpaper really doesn't go here. I just put it down. It kind of works. Actually, it does work a bit here. The bee with the taupe of this flower, but it was just sitting here. I really liked the colorway in this fabric here. It also has the heather and the plums. I really am drawn towards the taupey colors, the mushroom colors, and this is just a fabric that I had that shows that it works nicely. I hope to use this fabric in one of my rooms somewhere as probably a drapery panel, if not, just a pillow. Once again, I liked this fabric with the grays, and there's a little bit of aqua blue in there, and I grabbed an aqua blue inkwell that I had with a, I believe it's a seagull feather, just to show that, you know, you could use a little bit of Mother Nature and some glass that you like to pull together a colorway there. So this one happened by chance. I actually bought this artichoke with the full intent of making a little appetizer for Ben and myself. Forgot it, it dried, and I absolutely love how it dried out. So I thought the colors in here are beautiful. So I did find some fabric. This is a green that I was playing with for the kitchen before when I was doing my planning. The greens work beautiful, and even though I wouldn't use these two patterns together myself right now, it also has the same colors that are right here in this artichoke. Mother Nature's already done the work for us with colors. So if you just use something to inspire you, and I also have some of the beeswax candles, which also look beautiful with it. So I also know that I could use those as an accessory piece. I only have one fabric here, but this is something that I do cherish. It was always sitting on our fireplace mantle in my childhood home. So if I wanted to pull together a room with all these beautiful neutral colors, I might grab this guy to help inspire me, such as this woven pattern here that has really, if you look at it closely, it has all of the colors that the sandpiper does. I really liked how this has a little bit of bling in it, the pewter, so I just set it next to a pewter mortar and pestle here. And this one is I think this is a fun one. I fell in love and actually bought a bottle of wine just because of the label color. I don't know if anybody else does that, but I sometimes will buy wine because of the label, and then I either like it or I hate it. But this one caught my eye. I love a periwinkle blue or cobalt blues or cerulean blues. There's just so many different colorways. But when I found then books, I have a whole set of books that have that same beautiful blue with a touch of gold. I came across this fabric and I loved how it worked with this colorway. All inspired by a wine label. I don't know where I would use this in my home or if I will, but this is certainly going to go in a file for a future potential project. So there you have it. Welcome to my world. Now I have to clean this up, but I thought it would be fun just to show you that if you grab a few things from your home that you like, the color you like, why did you pick it up? Why did you buy it? Why did you tear a magazine picture out of a book? It's because you liked it. Why not make a room around the item that you selected? If you have any questions, ask below. If you have answers for those who asked a question, please feel free to answer. I do not mind. This is a group channel. I hope everybody will start to interact with each other. And once again, these patterns and colors are not for everybody. It's more of an inspiration and ideas of how you could select things for your home. Thank you for stopping by my YouTube channel. If you have not already subscribed, please do so. I would really appreciate it. Hit that bell to be notified of new videos, and I hope to see you here soon.